The following is a paid program sponsored by Soul Delicious. Please be advised that the voices and opinions you hear do not necessarily represent the views of KUNV Las Vegas, the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, or the Board of Regents of the Nevada System of Higher Education.
Hello, Las Vegas, and welcome to this segment of Soul Delicious Infused. Now, welcome your host.
Good morning, Las Vegas. This is Benjamin Bay, owner of Soul Delicious Seasoning, and my co-host today is Melinda Brown. She is the Senior Sales Director of THC Production. She gets down just like that. And here we talk about all things cannabis in Las Vegas and beyond. So Delicious Infused.
Yes,
how you doing,
we
Melinda?
do. I am fabulous.
I'm changing it up every week. I do it every week.
I got to tell you, though,
Yeah.
Thursday and Friday, I was on vacation, was supposed to go to California.
Wow.
Ended up not being able to go. I had to have a little mini staycation.
Mm-hmm. Was it windy? It was windy on Thursday.
It was windy, but it was really not as good as it could have been.
Oh, yeah.
You know why?
Yeah.
I got to tell you why, though.
Why?
So I was out of my lemon pepper garlic.
Oh,
Soul
no,
Delicious
that
spices.
so delicious lemon pepper garlic. She was out of it.
It's true.
And you know, we trying to
I
come with the
swear.
infused Soul Delicious version of that
It wasn't
lemon
even
pepper
infused.
garlic. Oh, yeah, we coming with that, though. That's a discussion
know.
we was having one time.
No.
We're going to kind of get you vegan people involved in that Soul Delicious lemon pepper garlic. That's going to be infused with that 100 milligrams of THC. We
That's
love
right.
that stuff. We love that stuff. We got some non-smokers in the studio today, non-edible eaters, non-weed smokers, but they know a lot about a lot of things. And he's a special guest friend of mine. I called him at the last minute at 3:30 this morning, and he was still asleep, talking about, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it because I was at the club last night, all night. So, Mr. Anthony McCrary, he's my buddy. He does a lot of different things, and we're going to bring him on in about a few more minutes because we've got to finish talking about what you do, Miss Melinda Brown.
Well, working for THC Production, I'm the director of sales. In addition to having some accounts of my own, I help support the other account reps in Nevada.
Okay.
All the way from Reno, all the way down
All the way
to
down.
fun Las Vegas.
Yeah, and you do it
Not that
real
Reno's
good.
not fun, because I'm sure it is. I just haven't been there.
We
for
have a dispensary
too
down there,
long.
too.
Oh, yeah.
Which one is that?
Yeah. We've got quite a few, actually.
Yeah.
We've got Jade.
Jade,
Used
to be Bloom,
Used to
man.
be Bloom, yeah.
Bloom, y'all.
Congratulations to
Yeah,
Bloom DI
yeah.
also
Go for it. Go for it.
being Jade as of
That's
this
right.
weekend in Las
there you
Vegas.
Go. There you go.
Yeah,
A lot of, what other things is happening right now? Because of the fact, see, you the go-to girl when it comes down to information in the dispensaries and all that kind of stuff, because you're out there every day and everything. And I just wanted to find out just your little bit of take on yours, and then we're going to get to our special guest in about 2 or 3 more minutes.
Well, THC Production is working on getting our name and our products in
That's right.
lots and lots of dispensaries
That's right.
all over Nevada.
And are we a part of that product line, aren't we?
Absolutely. Soul Delicious
Infused
is
is
one
a
of
part of that product line.
Very unique.
Very, very. There's
Hasn't been
nothing
done.
savory like that
Hasn't
out there.
been done.
Never. They don't do savory. They only do sugar.
Yep.
Sugar not good. Savory is the one thing. You can vape a little bit. You know, my engineer, he vapes a little taste. But you can vape. But that Soul Delicious Seasoning Infused, he had some. The man told me he slept like a baby. I'm going to let you guys hear Mr. Anthony's voice, because he's a diversity man. The man that did it all. The minority owner of Pop Shield. That was those bulletproof shields that I'm still waiting on my wife to get hers so she can have a pop shield to pop it up and it stops bullets for real. And when we bring him on, he's going to talk about that. He's going to talk about the new club that he got now. He's going to talk about his knowing, because all his friends is waiting on him to talk about that diversity in marijuana. So we're going to talk about everything, right?
Absolutely.
There it go. So, Miss Mel, back to you one more time.
I was looking at Pop Shields.
Pop Shields, this is what he does.
Yeah.
But he also talked about the different things in diversity in business and things like that. We're having a slightly different show because of the fact that my co-host is very, very busy. And Bea, she's out on this countdown thing. Because she had to do the countdown thing. Shouldn't have went around the process. But she had to do the countdown thing. So that is the reason why we have Miss Melinda Brown sitting in the office. This is her first time in the office with us. But, she doing what she do.
Feel kind of special sitting in the
Special.
COO's
That's
chair
definitely
right
seat.
now.
That's the queen of radio right there, seat. She's sitting in it and she's starting to feel her. Look. She's feeling her. She's starting to look like Stephanie a little bit. Ain't that right?
Can't ever feel that girl's shoes, though.
Oh, boy, can't feel the shoes.
Nobody can.
Yeah, I got
Nobody
you
can.
and Bea to help me with all of the, you got that sassy, see, you that sassy.
Bea's a little Spitfire,
yeah,
too.
Yeah, she's a Spitfire, but you that sassy.
Spitfire
see.
with brains.
You go out there, if you can go out there and do all the things that you do with them dispensaries, then I know darn well you got that sassy, because I've witnessed it, and Lou can't stop talking about it. So, that's what I'm saying. But we're going to get to Mr. Anthony over here, McCrary. He is the man that's going to be talking in a few minutes, and we're going to let him tell his story and talk about what he don't know or what he do know about the marijuana industry.
Absolutely.
All right. Then go and introduce yourself, sir.
Man, first of all, I just want to thank you, Mr. Benjamin, for allowing me to be a part of this very exciting show. My name is Anthony McCrary. I am the president and CEO of Diversity Management Partners, which is a company that provides consulting services to companies of all sizes where we design and manage their diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. We focus on strategic solutions.
Yeah.
We do design and implementation of different projects that they might be working on and where they want to be more diversified on.
Yeah.
And also anything related to HR consulting services. Maybe they want to focus on changes in their policies and procedures or provide some type of HR training during this era. And I say it's a new era because with the pandemic.
What they call it, the new normal.
The new normal.
The new normal.
And as you know.
Mess in your head like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
The new normal.
Zoom is kind of taking over.
They're making money too, ain't they?
Absolutely.
Zoom
absolutely.
making money. Zoom, what's the other one they got out? They got Zoom. They got, how many of those different ones?
There's so
we
many.
was on one.
There's Skype, but Zoom is the one that everybody knows about.
Yeah,
should have
so
bought
many.
stock with them.
Man.
There's so many. And, man, I have a very interesting career. And, I wouldn't say that I got there alone. I've always had, I would call them spiritual angels that helped me get to where I am. And so I always want to thank those individuals. My first mentor is Cedric Fisher, who's a publisher. I was his first intern in 1990 for Black Enterprise magazine.
Oh, Black Enterprise, I remember that.
Beat out of 80 people. He was he's been a phenomenal friend, fraternity brother, big brother. And he's been a spiritual guider. I can't forget about Fred Keaton from Caesars Entertainment.
Yeah,
Fred, man,
you better call him.
Fred, he took me to the school of hard knocks. One of them big brothers that beat you up, and then they love you later.
The ones you never forget that really make an impact on you.
Never
in a
forget.
positive
They
way.
make a positive impact.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So he was that guy, man, and and there's several others, man, that that have been there. But I always like to pay homage to them as well as my mom or my grandmother. Teaching those things about what not to do. Judging the company you keep. Don't run outside for that. Don't run outside in that street for that 5-cent ball. You know what I'm saying? I never really understood that. I never understood that till 9.
So don't forget to give your mom and your grandma props too.
Absolutely, I give them props. Good God be the glory. They're not with me anymore, but they're with me in spirit, as well as my god sister Moselle. So I always give them props.
Your head when you get out of line. You feel that little pop up in the back of your head. You know that's mom's or grandma. That's what they doing.
I think they groomed me well, man. So I'm very happy. So, I'll just share a few things. I was the commissioner in Solano County for the Juvenile Justice Commission. I was appointed for 2 years.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Absolutely, man.
I've been knowing you for a minute now.
Absolutely. I had a stint, doing law school. I was in law school at JFK College of Law. And so during that time, I went and became a commissioner.
Wow. Okay.
As well as I joined the board for the California Law Academy. I apologize for that. We're working on something new now. But the California Law Academy, man. So I have some great mentors,
a lot
man.
of stuff you're doing.
Great mentors, man. I can't, forget those judges in Solano County. Judge Cam, Judge Bowers, Judge Healy, and Commissioner Ray, former Commissioner Ray, who have been there, as well as Ruth Ashley, who have been some great mentors to me to this day. And so I
Well,
always
molded
pay
you in
homage
the
to
right
them.
direction.
Always pay homage to them, man, because I wouldn't be sitting here without
Yeah.
their wisdom and without their encouragement to help me take those leap of faith, as
Yeah.
well as my faith in God, bro.
Well, let me ask you this question now.
Yes, sir.
As I've been knowing you for, a couple of years now, and, you came to me in the beginning, and you helped me with my business with your diversity thing, and you was telling me about the different things that you can do.
Absolutely.
And all that. So, I mean, to discuss it in a manner of diversity in the cannabis industry.
Uh-huh.
I know, Anthony, you don't know a lot about the cannabis industry, but it's not like you don't know about diversity. And when it comes down to diversity, it's more or less like, let me know your thoughts on diversity
You know,
in the cannabis industry.
there's a lot of transferable skills when it comes to diversity and equity inclusion. And so, I mean, let's just be very clear. This industry has lacked diversity from day one. When this industry was actually built off the backs and sacrifices of Black and brown people.
Yes, sir.
I mean, let's be clear.
Most definitely.
I mean,
Most definitely.
that has been a major, major challenge.
Yeah, they kept everybody on the west side and wouldn't let them on the strip.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Every junior, all of them had to stay over at the Moolah Road.
Absolutely.
Way back in the day.
Which is why I'm involved with that community now with West Side Oasis.
That's right.
So,
we're going to get to that. We're going to get to the West Side Oasis.
Absolutely.
Don't bring that up yet.
Absolutely. But, with all the increased awareness that's going on, around all subjects Black,
Yeah.
over the past decades and even just over the past couple of years of all the individuals that have passed due to police brutality.
Yeah.
I mean, we can go on and on and on, man. These stories have been horrific. There are many companies, there's industries that are really taking a deeper dive into their own companies and saying, what can we do different? How can we give back and support Black and brown people, through some type of empowerment or through some type of funding that can support organizations? And I think two of the industries that are really taking interest of that, notice of this is the cannabis industry and the construction industry.
Well, Frank Hawkins is the only Black-owned dispensary in Nevada. Okay, and he's supposedly opened up another one, but that part right there has a lot to do with diversity.
Absolutely.
It started the ball rolling.
Absolutely.
With him doing that.
Absolutely. It's less than 1% of dispensaries owned by African Americans.
Yeah.
That number is staggering, and a lot of that has to do with economic exclusion.
Yeah.
Not having access to the big money licenses, or also just having mentorship, or just being pushed out of certain situations.
Yeah.
I mean, as you know,
Yeah.
African American men and women and people of brown people are being incarcerated 4 times more than our white counterparts.
1,000 times a minute.
Absolutely. More, and I'm sure you and I know
I've been
family members and friends.
Quite a few times.
Oh
been
my
there
gosh.
myself. I remember an incident that happened. I don't drink or anything like that. Got pulled over by the police, and next thing you know, he wants to give me a sobriety test. And I said, there is no test for marijuana because you can have it in your system for 30 days, 7 days tops. You can't tell me when I last smoked it by taking blood from me. So he took me to jail anyway and everything, and I think he don't think he worked there no more. Because you know me, I go after that constitutional stuff.
Right, absolutely.
Violation of my constitutional rights.
So that's what I mean when I say they were, this industry was built on the backs of African American and brown people. I know it's hard for some people to have that conversation, but one of the things I try to focus on is making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Yeah.
And if we don't have dialogue about these situations, what are we here for?
We ain't here.
We're here, and you're talking about an industry that made $11 billion last year.
I know they made a lot of money off of me.
$11 billion last.
Cause I spend $150 a week on a house.
Right.
But dialogue is so important because I think a lot of people are just not even educated. They see the little blips that they catch scrolling through social media or what the news is portraying, which isn't necessarily
the truth.
It can definitely be biased.
I'm not
and I think
a Trump
education,
fan, but I know when they're not telling the truth.
And knowledge is power, and education is key.
Absolutely.
And you just have to be quiet and use your ears and use your mouth less and listen to what people say. Listen to both sides and if you have any intelligence, you're going to be able to figure this stuff out, that
That's
those
right.
numbers are completely correct.
And everybody's opening up their mind lately.
Yeah.
They're getting it.
Well,
because they understand, like, you know how E40 said, you got to be active in these streets, man.
That's right.
And active not meaning anything negative.
Yeah.
Positively, really understand it. This ground roots, man. There's so many things in diversity that's really challenging.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, not only just the cannabis industry, you have to think about people that have disabilities that's dealing with challenges as well in the diversity industry, even in the hotel industry.
Yeah.
I mean, trying to get jobs, you know, finding a room where the bed is on the floor so they can be able to get out of their wheelchair and get in and out. You know, all those different things are very important.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, but getting back to, you know, about just the cannabis industry, I mean, let's just break it down, like just the business owners, you know, and the founders of this industry. 81% white Americans, 5.7% Hispanics and Latinos, Blacks, African Americans, 4.3%. Asian Pacific Islanders, 2.4%.
So there's a lot of percentages that are bigger than the ones we should have. Can a little bit of evenness coming out of that?
And, you know, hopefully that's going to happen.
Did you say 81%?
81%.
Wait a minute. So that last little 20% chunk, the rest of us is splitting up?
Splitting up.
19.
And just think
Just
about
19%.
Yeah. And just think about the ones who don't. You know, I'm just thinking of all the brothers
but what
that I
about
know.
the ones that 81? I want to get back to the 81%.
Yes.
See, the 81% you say is all
White Americans.
White Americans, and I mean, but see, the one thing that I gotta say, and I'm gonna say this, and it don't matter, but the one thing I gotta say is this here: when you conquer a continent, you're going to put yourself out on the top. So yeah, you're gonna 81%. Yeah, you know, majority of white Americans got the jobs. A majority of minorities don't. You know, majority of white Americans is out of prison. The majority of minority Americans is in prison. Everybody's getting beat up, jumped on, but they don't never show. Only the white Americans that's running with the BLM and running with the different people, they show might get knocked in the head. But they don't show the beating that the black Americans get in this country.
Absolutely.
From police. And that's that 1684 code, you know, with the Rough Riders and all of the, because if you look at the badge they had in 1886, when they started a lot of stuff, it's the same badge when they were Rough Riders. They're working with the Klan.
Yes.
So they the same badge that Metro carries, New York carries, all these metropolitan police departments are carrying the same one. Now, I was just reading up on a situation where they got a gang in Los Angeles on the sheriff department, a Latino gang beating up on black people and beating up on Latinos. And I'm trying to figure out what is this problem with this beating up on your own people thing when we got enough problems with other people beating up on us.
Yes.
And then they actually threaten other officers that don't comply with the gang's rules. And that's cold with it. Now, I know a lot of sheriffs in L.A.
That's same here.
You know, and that's crazy, man.
Same here.
I mean, how can you enforce a law when you just as bad as the Crips and the Bloods?
Absolutely.
And they done got better than the police.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's the
But
policies.
I'm sorry, Anthony, to cut you off, man. But go ahead, man. You could be touching these subjects with me.
I'm so glad there's so much more media attention now, though, because people are becoming more aware. Yeah, more
you
aware.
can't say too much of nothing. They call them Karens now. the little white women that like to act the fool. They call them Karens.
I'm glad my name's not Karen.
I know. What do they call the guys that do it?
I have no
Bills,
idea.
Bobs or something like that.
Bob or something like
No
that.
idea.
Come on now.
But if you really think about it, man. Let's think about it. You have, I'm not saying all white Americans are privileged. Because I know a lot of white Americans that aren't.
Who are not.
Who share the same similarities as me, right?
Yeah.
But a lot that weren't have certain privilege that others don't. I mean, walk into the store, not being discriminated upon, or somebody watching you and see if you're going to steal something, driving your car, not worrying about being pulled over. When the pandemic
I know a lot
hit,
of them don't have that problem. When the pandemic hit,
it changed everything. Now everybody it's an equal playing field.
Well, here's the thing. Like in my community over there where I live at on Bonanza and here in Vegas, I live on Bonanza and Martin Luther King over in that area between Rancho and Martin Luther King off of Bonanza. And, that's the community garden. I live over in that neighborhood. But It was like when you drive up and down Rancho, Washington, Bonanza, or Martin Luther King, there's 50,000 police cars during the time before all this stuff came out with the George Floyd thing and all that. All of a sudden, this one young man got the same thing done over there on Bonanza. And now I drive through there all the time. You don't hardly see one police car in the neighborhood. You might see 1, 2, they're going up and down the street, but they're not doing what they used to do. They're not pulling over every person that's driving by because they see somebody and they look at you. You driving a nice car, you black, you get pulled over. You walking down the street, you black, you get pulled over.
Right.
All that, and you coming out of the suites or something like that. Oh, that's a criminal act. You have been pushed into homelessness. You have been pushed into poverty. You've been pushed into a whole lot of things, and now you're using this same method to idolize police brutality because now these people are angry. These people are upset. These people are trying to figure out why are you treating me like this and all this kind of stuff. And then the next thing you know, what happens? The police beat them up because they come up to them with an attitude like they're better than the people. And that's got to stop. I don't care. I got too many cop friends that don't even like it.
Well, growing up in South Central LA, I've been pulled over at least 40 times, and I remember being pulled over in my suit. I was in my suit. I remember dropping some money off to my godmother, and I knew my boy across the street was a dope dealer. So as soon as I got to the corner, because I was trying to get to an appointment, I had to do a presentation. As soon as I got to the corner, I got pulled over. And I had to get out and spray eagle, right? On Hoover,
Was
right?
this before or after you dropped off the cash?
This after I dropped off the cash.
Oh, okay.
So I'm spread eagle on Hoover, and I got my suit on.
Yeah.
So they checking my company car. They looking in the back, said, "What is this?" I had all these cellophane wraps. You're sales and marketing, so you always have something you can give to your customers. Yeah. So they're like, "What is all this?" So they're checking this and opening stuff. So I was down there for about 45 minutes.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah. So long story short, I'm late to my presentation where I was doing with 50 people from a credit union. My manager was upset because I was late. But when I explained to her why I was late, she couldn't understand being pulled over because I had a suit on.
Because she never had it before.
So I had a double situation that occurred.
Wow.
And this is early, like 90s, you know what I'm saying, when I went through that.
Yeah.
And so, it creates some bitterness. Mr. Benjamin's been through this, creates some bitterness. But, one of the things I wanted to do to combat that is not be angry and go and meet cops and share my story. And I think that's the reason why I went to law school initially, to be able to be in that courtroom, to have a voice and talk to the judges. I mean, these judges are I consider them really good friends. We ate lunch like once a week, like the Rat Pack. Yeah. But sharing, they love to hear these stories, because when they see a young man in the courtroom that looks like me, they have, you got that gray area.
Empathy for them.
You got that gray area. And it was very important for me to be able to have that voice to share with someone, because I was bitter. I was bitter with that. And, and I also, at Caesars, I had an opportunity to, work with different groups. So one of the groups I worked with was the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement. That was awesome. They talk about these subject matters. I wish every police officer that's of color would join this organization, because they talk about these subject matters, talk about how they can deal with police brutality. I mean, the same thing happens for other groups, for Hispanic, Latino associations, and for the chief of police. All these organizations out there, and they're talking about this very thing, diversity and how to deal with better police communities.
And that's why I brought you on.
So it's out there.
But that's why I brought you on the show, because you talk about diversity in all type of ways.
Thank you.
Not just the cannabis industry, not just the casino industry, but in all industries you talk about along the, across the board.
Absolutely.
And which is the reason why I brought you on, because I knew I would get that from you, because you spark on a lot of things that I talk about. And certain times on the show I can't talk about certain things, but when I bring somebody on with diversity, I can talk about them too and give my opinion, which is only my opinion. It's not nothing that you guys can call solid. It's just my opinion, because I do research.
Absolutely.
But Anthony,
Yes.
I mean, a lot of this, and you can elaborate, you have stats, and I'm going to learn from you, but a lot of it comes down to economic status, especially in the cannabis industry.
Yeah.
If you even want to play, you are putting up a lot of cash
That's right.
in order to be able to do that. And most minorities don't have that.
And it comes down
And
to,
Frank was
just
he
corrected,
said something about
economic
that on our show.
exclusion. Economic exclusion.
Yeah.
and just having access and having the knowledge on how to get a license, the cost of it, like you mentioned, is very, very important.
And a hand up is so important. I know in the cannabis industry, there are some people who are creating, I don't know if it's foundations, but they're putting up money in order for minorities to be able to get into it.
Dispensaries and everything.
Absolutely.
All
Absolutely.
your rappers, your stars like Biggie and not Biggie.
Or sports,
but
people in sports, or just
Sean Puppy Comb, all of them, they putting up money. So and then he just bought, and didn't he just buy? No, that was Diddy. No, not Diddy. Who is this guy, man?
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, yeah, him.
Oh,
He's
that's
the one
right,
that just
that's
bought the whole thing, you know. So he got dispensaries and all that now. So he's doing a change, and I get my Seasonings, it's so delicious, Infused, into his too. So that's another thing. I'm trying to get it across the state lines, get it out of everywhere.
And so one of the major companies right now, Curaleaf, they are seeking diversity.
Yeah.
They want to create a diverse
Curaleaf.
Curaleaf. I mean, that's one of the major players, and they want to create a diversity program, want to give back to the community, and I love that. I love the fact that they want to do that.
Well, they call the right guy for that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to be reaching out to them at some point.
You're not working with them?
No, I have a contact that knows the key people there, so I'm going to reach out to them and see how I can support them.
Yeah, I've been listening to their live presentations on Instagram, and there's a lot of talk.
Yeah.
And like Last Prisoner Project, I don't know if you know anything about that, but all of those things are so important.
Yes, and that's why I mentioned earlier about the cannabis industry and the construction industry. So like here in Las Vegas, Martin Harris Construction, this is a company they've been practicing diversity for quite some time.
They're a big company.
I love it. Yeah,
they do a lot of casinos and a lot of...
But they have a first-time felon program, which is awesome,
Which is awesome,
Awesome. And so you're going to see more of that, man, with a lot of the different cannabis industry companies and everything.
Yeah, they're going to build, somebody got to build the dispensaries.
Absolutely.
Well, it's crazy, though, that you have a felony and then you get out and you've paid your price and you're still paying your price for like
50
how
more
long?
years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it don't make no sense to me.
Absolutely. So there's some change happening, but I just want to see more organizations, more companies put together a task force related to diversity.
I'm going to tell you this, man, you brought a lot to the show when you're talking about all this thing. The show got me sparked up. But real quick, what about your little club that you got going on now over there on the west side, over there on Lake Mead?
Man, again, I was blessed, man, to be in a position, man. It's always individuals you meet.
Used to be 7 C's, right?
Used to be 7 C's, and the owner, Terry Adams, him and I worked out together, and he'd been trying to get me to come in for a year and a half. And so he brought me in as a business partner, him and his wife. And
look at you now.
Yeah, literally just using my transferable skills, man, just to make sure that their vision is there,
make it's been over like 10 days now.
Yeah, it's our 10th day today, man, and the community is embracing it, and we just love the fact that we're giving back and giving the community a new positive example of African Americans. You got to dress up when you come to our spot.
You do.
Oh yeah,
and that's
we
what I like
want
about
positive Black images, man.
Tell them what's the name of it again?
West Side Oasis.
There you go. If the listeners want to, find out more about you and all of the things that you do, what avenues do they take to get that? Can you give up a website, an email?
Yes, I can.
Phone number, your name,
Yes, I can.
How much weed you don't smoke, all that stuff.
Yes, they can reach me at McCrary@Diversity Management. That's MGMT.com. And anybody that's listening to them, I just want to let anybody know. And this is my tagline. I took it from Les Brown. There's greatness in all of us.
That's right.
Truth.
Straight up.
Well, we want to thank you for coming on this show. And I appreciate you coming because I knew it was going to spark me because I know you come out. When you come with diversity, you come with diversity. So this is a pleasure to have you here. I hope that all your friends that listen to my show on this morning and everything know that you did a great job. You came in here and you spoke on cannabis in the right way that I wanted you to.
And Mr. Ben, you already know I couldn't leave by saying, I'm not new to this. I'm new to this.
That's right. Luke Collins. That's our marketing vice president and his friend and mine. But if you would like to hear the full interview with today's guest or hear past episodes, you can head to our YouTube channel, Soul Delicious Infused. That's SOULD_LICIOUS Infused. We upload each week's episode on Monday at 4:20.
And this show is a co-production of Soul Delicious Seasoning and THC Production. For more information on our companies, you can check out SoulDeliciousSeasoning.com. That's delicious without the E. Or THCProduction.com. Or you can visit our blog at omgthc.vegas/buzz-blog. If you would like to be a guest on our show or have comments or questions on today's episode, you can email us at podcast@thcproduction.com.
That's all we have time for today, so thank you for listening and tune in next Saturday at 7:30 a.m. on KUNV 91.5, where you will be amazed.
Keep out of reach of children, for use only by adults 21 years of age and older. You have been listening to a paid program sponsored by Soul Delicious. Please be advised that the voices and opinions you've heard do not necessarily represent the views of KUNV Las Vegas, the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, or the Board of Regents of the Nevada System of Higher Education.